Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm Faith Verity.
And I'm Sophie Cowens. Here's what's coming up on the programme today.
Police make arrests after rival protests took place in Manchester city centre on Saturday, but what were the public's reaction?
A Salford dementia charity celebrated their 10th birthday last week by delivering gifts to the Sunshine Room at Salford Royal Hospital. Katie went to visit them.
The fastest people on two wheels hit the track at the National Cycling Championships in Manchester.
And I'll be here with the latest sport updates.
Greater Manchester Police were deployed to Piccadilly last Saturday as groups gathered for planned demonstrations.
This prompted a visible security presence in the area. Our reporter Neela went to the scene.
Police made several arrests yesterday after opposing groups gathered in Manchester city centre. The demonstrations took place in Manchester's busiest area, drawing attention from residents and authorities alike.
The protest, organised by Britain First, saw a coordinated police response across the city centre. Greater Manchester Police said 9 men were arrested, with offences including public order breaches and assault. Supporters of the far-right group gathered outside Manchester Piccadilly station before marching through Piccadilly Gardens to call for remigration and mass deportations. Residents in Manchester shared their views on the protest.
The far-right need to be out. It's horrible. The idea of a protest is to cause disruption, but I do think the amount of police that are at these protests is very different to the amount of police that is at something that is pro-left, a white person. So I can't imagine what anybody feels like it is.
I think it's important because everyone's voices deserve to be heard, and everyone deserves to be here. Just because they're from a different place doesn't mean they don't deserve to live here. I think it's good that it's in the city center because then more people might hear about it and they might want to fight for the cause as well and then spread more awareness, which can help everybody. And people shouldn't be arrested for just, using their right to speak and fight for what they believe in.
But I wasn't really available, but I heard of it, and I think it's wrong. It's wrong, yeah, because such might lead to maybe damaging of properties, loss of life, maybe. But it really has to be resolved, else it will become a problem. I know it's going to be resolved, but at the meantime, everyone has to be very careful and very cautious.
A Greater Manchester Police spokesperson said officers worked with organisations and used dispersal powers to maintain public safety and minimise disruption in the city centre.
While the crowds have now dispersed, conversations continue about policing, protests and the role of public spaces in Manchester. Neela Ramsamooge, Quays News.
A Salford charity is celebrating 10 years of supporting people living with dementia.
To mark the anniversary, volunteers from Dancing with Dementia visited Salford Royal Hospital, reflecting its continued support of patients and families.
Our reporter, Katie Hancock, visited the hospital to find out more.
Known for bringing music and movement to the community, Dancing with Dementia is marking its 10th anniversary. And today, that milestone is being celebrated inside Salford Royal Hospital. At L6 within the hospital, a special presentation took place in the ward's much-loved Sunshine Room, a place designed to feel very different from a hospital ward. The presents, donated by supporters, were specifically requested to benefit this family space, a place designed to feel very different from a hospital ward. The Sunshine Room is a dedicated area within the hospital's ageing complex medicine ward, somewhere patients and their loved ones can spend meaningful time together in more comfortable surroundings. There's a living room setup complete with a fireplace and television, a hair salon corner, board games and even a piano, open to anyone who feels like playing.
They're a great support because I don't have a budget off anybody from here. I raise funds myself, like 2 raffles, and Leslie from Dancing with Dementia and Metal Lube, they donate most of the stuff. That's all I can say, because most of the stuff you're seeing is donated by Dancing with Dementia and Metal Lube. And raffles, what I've done raffles and I've raised, when I have the parties and things, I raised my own money for it.
The room sits within a 29-bed ward where staff focus not just on treatment but on maintaining independence and dignity. And for Dancing with Dementia, supporting this space is a natural extension of its work in the community.
Because we're a charity, because we're all volunteers, every penny that is given to Dancing with Dementia is put back into Dancing with Dementia, and so we get so much support, it can be quite overwhelming.
From hospital ward to family room, the aim remains the same, making sure people feel supported and less alone. And as Dancing with Dementia marks 10 years, its impact is being felt not just in the community, but right here, where it matters most. Katie Hancock, Quays News, Salford.
And now, for entertainment, Benny joins us live in the studio.
Yeah, thank you both. So it's a busy week in the world of entertainment because the Brit Awards is returning for its 46th ceremony. This year the awards will take place at the Co-op Live right here in Manchester. And this is the first time that the event has ever been held outside of London. But why is this so important?
Music doesn't just happen in London, and I think in lots of ways we're trying to fight that, and the music heritage here in Manchester is so rich that it's sort of about time. It's like 30 years.
There will be several performances throughout the ceremony, with artists such as Harry Styles, Wolf Alice and Olivia Dean taking to the stage. But who is likely to win big this year?
I think Olivia Dean's going to clean up. I think all of the Brit school women are going to do really well. So it's like Olivia Dean, Ray, Lola Young. I think they'll do really well, as Brits kids tend to do.
The Brit Awards return this Saturday with Jack Whitehall as host for the 6th time, and you can watch it on ITV1 and ITVX at 8:15pm. In the other news in entertainment world, the BBC is carrying out an investigation after they failed to edit out a racial slur from this year's BAFTA broadcast. Tourette's campaigner John Davidson yelled out the slur whilst Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo handed out the first award of the evening. The BBC do edit down the 3-hour ceremony into a 2-hour broadcast, and on this occasion failed to spot the use of offensive language. The investigation comes after Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy expressed concern over the incident, stating she has spoken to outgoing BBC Director General Tim Davie to ensure that an incident like this never happens again. Bruno Mars is releasing a new album tomorrow. The Romantic will be Mars's 4th studio album and the first solo album since 2016's 24 Karat Magic. And finally, a new film has dropped on Amazon Prime. The Bluff was released yesterday, starring Priyanka Chopra Jones and Carl Urban. Directed by Frank Flowers, the Metro describes the film as like the Pirates of the Caribbean, but instead the pirates are psychotic murderers. Now you two, are you both fans of pirate films?
I quite like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I like Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's not quite my scene, the whole pirate thing, so...
Thanks for joining us, Benny.
Yeah. And now, the National Cycling Centre was buzzing as the country's laps hit speeds of up to 80 kilometres per hour at the National Track Cycling Championships.
Our reporter, Freddie Beckett, headed over there on the tram to find out more.
Manchester, and the scene of the 2026 National Track Cycling Championships, where some of the nation's best mount the saddle and take to the velodrome, all with the eyes of claiming the national champion jersey. The medals they can win are strung from a patriotic ribbon and emblazoned with the spokes of the very bikes of which they spend hours and hours preparing for these races on, so they'll be sure to motor along as they get underway from the sound of the whistle. And 20-year-old Ben Marsh came out of nowhere to take the crown in the men's points race.
I didn't really come in with a solid plan. I think I wanted to ride freely, so yeah, I kind of knew based on previous years that I needed to get ahead before bigger moves from bigger riders went, and I think it kind of worked out. I was able to mark things as I needed to later in the race.
Marsh looked back on his aspirations.
This time, mid last year, I think I could never dream of this moment.
And it was a gold medal for the experienced Olympian Josie Knight in the women's individual pursuit.
It's always nerve-wracking. You always worry that I won't quite have enough at the back half, and she had quite a gap on me, and I thought, oh no, I've really screwed this up, and then yeah, luckily I just had it at the end.
Moving to the area to train, it was an emotional victory to do on her home track.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester's my home now. I live half an hour away and we train here all the time, so it's just, yeah, it's fantastic to get to race here, and to race here in front of a full crowd like this, it's fantastic.
And Josie was ecstatic when she crossed the line.
I've just beaten the world champion, so there's not a better feeling than that.
Yes, so after a very, very busy week here in Manchester at the National Track Cycling Centre, that's all that we've got now for this week. We've had some amazing riders from Matthew Richardson, Emma Finucane, all the European stars, now national stars as well. And we had some real outsiders taking the crown as well, with Ben Marsh in the men's point race. An unbelievable outsider. No one knew who he was before getting here, and now he is your national champion. So yes, that's all we've got here from the National Track Cycling Centre here in Manchester. And that is me, Freddie Beckett, signing off for 2026.
Over to the world of public transport now, where our reporter Archie Harris is investigating which mode of transport is the most efficient for students.
Manchester is one of the best cities for public transport in the whole of Europe. We have buses, trams, Lime scooters, and that's just the start of it. With the price of Lime scooters going down from £4 to £3 for a 30-minute pass, I wanted to know, what are students' favourite mode of transport?
I sent out a survey to get a vague view of the students' favourite.
I decided to see how much it'll cost and how long it takes to get to St Peter's Square in the middle of Manchester on different modes of public transport, starting here in Media City.
First up, we have the classic bus. We had some complaints about the lateness of the 50 bus service.
Waiting conditions at bus stops need to be far better. Waiting there any longer than 3 minutes is too much of the time.
The B network said the bus would be 7 minutes, but actually it came a minute early. From Media City, you can show your student ID card to get a free trip to the main Peel Park campus. However, if you want to go into the town centre like I did, you'll have to buy a ticket once you reach the university. So I'm going to start and end each journey here at St Peter's Square tram stop, as it's quite close to local bus stops. The tram station's obviously right there, and Lime scooters are just down the road as well. So it keeps it fair when we're determining how long each mode of transport actually takes. It only felt fitting, as I was at the tram station already, that we tested the tram next. The Metrolink was not very popular in my survey, with one saying trams are actually slower than the bus most of the time. In the end, it only took 22 minutes to get to Media City.
I often choose against using public transport. God gave me legs for a reason. I can walk everywhere.
So I decided to test this out for myself. It was actually a really nice walk down the canal to St Peter's Square. However, the bottom of my feet were hurting a lot by the end. In the end, it took me 49 minutes and over 5,500 steps to get to St Peter's Square. But it was, to be honest, a very nice walk. Finally, and my personal favourite, it's the Lime scooter. So I'm here by Salford Central train station. This is as far as Lime scooters are actually allowed to come inside Manchester, as they're not actually road legal here, only in Salford. So it's about a 10-minute walk from St Peter's Square, something like that. So we'll add it on at the end to see how long it really takes to Lime scooter back. In the end, it took 17 minutes to get from this closest scooter stop back to Media City. So in conclusion, it was the tram that came out on top, taking only 22 minutes to get from St Peter's Square all the way back to Media City. The Lime scooter did technically take 17 minutes, however it took a 10-minute walk to get to the nearest stop from St Peter's Square, therefore it had a combined time of 27 minutes. Archie Harris, Quays News.
Now we'll hear from Georgia with the latest forecast.
After a few days of sunshine here in Salford, the rain is once again expected to come throughout this weekend and heading into the month of March. Throughout today, we have heavy rain expected going into the afternoon and into this Thursday evening, with temperatures reaching a high of 12 degrees and a low of 9. Heading into Friday, conditions are expected to stay the same, with light rain and gentle breezes coming in from the southwest, with temperatures reaching a high of 9 this day, so make sure you wrap up warm. Heading into Saturday and Sunday, light rains can be expected once again, with the conditions of gentle breezes continuing. Heading into the first week of March, however, the sunshine can be seen as appearing once again, with cloudy conditions and sunny spells throughout the week.
Well, thank goodness that the weather is looking up. Ryan joins us now with the latest sporting events.
What's going on in Salford's world of sport?
Well, Salford are bouncing back from a 2-1 defeat they had in the midweek. They're going to look to improve their performances, but obviously their manager thinks they can go on a good run of games now.
How about Salford University sport?
Well, Salford bounced back, Salford came from behind to beat the University of York in the hockey. And they will now go to Durham for the final.
Well, that sounds super exciting. How are England getting on in the T20 Cricket World Cup? Because I don't know about you, but I am super excited for this.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far. England have been off to a brilliant start, 2 wins from 2. They'll now face New Zealand in their final game. Harry Brooks had some brilliant heroics, so yeah, looking to win the tournament for a record 3rd time.
That's great. Super exciting stuff in the sports recently. And as well as you said about the Salford University sport, have you got more exciting things for that coming?
No, that's all.
No.
Thank you, Ryan. And that's all for now. Thank you for joining.
Enjoy the rest of your afternoons. Join us next week.
Goodbye.